Hello, it's Nixon Tuned here, and today we are looking at my GR Yaris. So obviously you've seen me before introducing other people's cars, and today is about showing you mine. So I bought this car a year ago. If we turn it around, I had a load of Audi RS models before this car and traded them in for a Yaris, which doesn't seem particularly a good move, but what a driver's car. You know, it's an amazing piece of kit. Now, me being me, I can never keep things simple. I always like to change things, so it wasn't long before I started to modify the car, although some of that was influenced by the fact that I hit a deer pretty early on. I was pretty lucky. It just took the front bumper out. I then changed that bumper for something else which I didn't like, so that bumper then got took off and I put the original back on through the insurance, and we added the TRD splitter that many people have got. I mean, it is a fairly common splitter, but I think it's probably one of the better ones for the car. It just suits the car so well, hence probably why everyone's got one. If we then look under the bonnet, it's fairly standard at the minute, if I can find the button. So we've obviously got some Maroya dampers there. I bought them in the carbon fibre because I thought it was a little bit nicer. I'm a bit of a carbon whore, as you'll see anyway. I like a bit of carbon. Obviously we've got the Venturian gloss carbon too, so it matches that. I bought the cooling plate, but obviously I've took the actual plate off, but I've kept the duct. That was really just to clean the car, but I kind of like it without it and just the duct now. Whether it's actually functional is anyone's guess, really. Titanium bolts, because some of the titanium bolts were going all rusty and horrible, or some of the normal bolts so were going all rusty and horrible, so I changed them out. So I'm actually bringing out a few kits if anyone's interested in getting some of these. Next phase is a big turbo build, following my friend's lead. Maybe some few changes. I've got a few contacts from Well Drag racing days, and a few people getting behind the car, so mine will be on Motec. So I've got a plug and play unit rather than a Cyvex that many people choose. That's just personal choice and something that I'm used to using. As we walk around the car, you can see I've got CE28s. These are really nice wheels. Volks I always wanted a set, and I finally purchased a set and put them on. Wrapped in 255 3518 tyres. They're just semi-slicks, AD08s. I just get on with them. They're really good throughout the year. I never seem to have any problems with running them in the wet or in the snow. Just makes a nice all-round tyre. Moving around the back, you can see a Scara 73 wing. Henry over in Italy supplied this. It's for me a game changer in that it just changes the shape of the car, and I don't know, I've just had so much attention from this wing alone. You drive along the motorway, it's probably not for everyone because it just get people hanging out their window literally looking at that spoiler. It's definitely something to change the car. It's probably not everyone's cup of tea, but then that's what modifying cars is all about. At the rear here we've got the Tom's ducts. I'm pretty sure a bit like the front splitter. Lots of people have them, but they really do suit the car. Mine were put on by my friend Matt. So Matt Loan, brilliant bodywork. Exhaust of choice, I've had 3 of them. So I ended up with an Akrapovic, supplied by Perron Automotive. Absolutely amazing exhaust. Love that exhaust. I've had 3 different exhausts. C-Tech to start with, then I went to a JCR titanium, which was really nice. I just didn't put enough resonated boxes on it and it was just too noisy for me, whereas this Acra is just perfect. It starts up with a nice raughty sound, but yeah, it really settles down and it's just such a good tone to it. I can drive down the motorway, there's no boomy noise, it doesn't drone, it's perfect. So that was the exhaust sorted. Let's look inside. Okay, so as you can see, there's no steering wheel. So I've got a quick release steering wheel on there. So I've got a full works bell, as you can see, sat on the top there with a Momo wheel. So it's a Momo Monte Carlo USA edition, which is Alcantara. We've then put on some nice titanium bolts. You can see it's coming through in a nice bit of colour there. And it just changes it. It just, primarily I bought it because I wanted to get out of my garage quite easily. But I just love it. It just brings a whole new meaning to the car. It's just nice to drive with. I find the original quite bulky. I had a carbon fibre version before from Trust or Gredy, and that was quite nice, but ultimately this is my favourite so far. Very, very nice. I've had 4 or 5 different shifters. At the minute I'm back to a standard, so there's nothing really to look at that point. On to my favourite bit, the cage. You can see it. So I've been working with a company to basically make me a roll cage. Now I've had 2 cages so far. I've had a SW Motorsports one to start with, and this one now was a design that was actually primarily to start with done by a guy that used to run a well-known Renault company, and I've took it on board and we have now changed it slightly, and we're going to change it again into version 2 where the bar actually will bend round the centre tunnel there. Or I think I will anyway. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it's a really nice cage. I've also added some nice titanium bolts, and there'll be more to go with it. But the beauty of this cage, you've got a nice harness bar that's totally accessible. It's very, very easy to put in and take out. It literally, I put it in on myself or by myself in about 30 minutes once the rear seats are out. So if you actually drive track, it's actually very good. You can actually take it in and out in sort of half an hour. You don't even have to take the front seats out. It's such a good design. Obviously, like I say, we've got the titanium bolts, if you can see here, and you can have them in any kind of finish. So it really personalises the car. The colour of the cage can be pretty much any rail colour. And then I'm going to try to get a false floor from RSI 06. I've been asking them for a while now. They're not the easiest company to deal with, but I think that'll work really well with this. And then you put a false floor back in there, you'll be able to put things back in the back of the car without rolling around. So that's quite nice. So that's pretty much where we are with the inside. I will change the seats at some point. So just a quick close-up of the cage from the inside as well. As you can see, I've opened the boot now, so you can have a quick look in here. So obviously you can get an idea of what it looks like from the inside. Now the harness bar's been done the way it is because you can then take it out. It's not part of the brace, or it's not part of the tube, so you can remove that. So it makes it very handy for track days to have it, but also it's not intrusive like when they're on some of the hoops and integrated. So just really, really nice little touches to make this a real bolt-in cage that anyone really with half a kind of inkling of how to use a set of spanners should actually be able to put in. And that was the idea around it. You know, you could pretty much bring this home, buy the cage, and not have to spend £500–600 having someone fit it. You can literally take the seats out, and within half an hour to an hour you can have this cage installed in your car. And that was the idea primarily around me developing this cage. It just makes it a lot more simple for the average Joe. And look at it, it's just a beautiful cage. It's really nicely done, it's really nicely welded. It's a professional cage with some really nice fixings, and the fixings, like I say, we can just have in any colour. You can literally have it in any combination, and should be priced pretty competitively. I haven't decided exactly what we're going to sell it at yet, but if we look at the back tailgate, you can see these bolts as well. They extend out here, so obviously these are rainbow and titanium, so the bolts are actually titanium. So, and then you get the rainbow colour. You can't really see it so well there, but and then I've put them also onto the gas struts. As you can see, these are full titanium bolts. So I'm going big turbo next through a few of my friends that I've had drag carb dealings with before. We've made some really good cars, sort of 700-800 horsepower on the 85. So we're going to see what we can do with this one now that I've bought a daily. So this car will probably now be pretty much a weekend track toy, as I'm sure a lot of yours out there are already. So